Okay, forget Apple for a second. Forget Microsoft. The richest company in the world right now.
No.
Well, it's a name you probably didn't hear much about 10 years ago. And it's not just big, it's genuinely history-making. So our mission today in this deep dive is to really unpack how this company got so valuable so fast. Why is their tech suddenly, indispensable? And what does the future look like for them? Can they stay on top? Get ready, because this is, well, it's a pretty surprising journey right into the heart of the AI revolution, and it's kind of unexpected new king. All right, let's talk about the new monarch of Wall Street, Nvidia. They're sitting on a market cap of, wait for it, $4.45 trillion.
That number is just staggering.
It really is. And for anyone listening who isn't sure, market cap is basically the total value of all their shares. It's this huge number that tells you sort of what investors think the company's worth and, maybe more importantly, what its future potential is.
And $4.45 trillion. I mean, to put that in perspective for you, that's bigger than the entire GDP of Germany.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That really drives it home.
It does. And the reason, why now? Why them?
Well, they basically became the brains, the absolute engine behind the whole AI revolution.
And what's fascinating to me is just how fast this all happened. It feels like it came out of nowhere for a lot of people, but it really speaks volumes about how fundamental their technology actually is, something maybe even tech-savvy folks didn't fully appreciate until recently.
Exactly. And when we say the brain, what we're really getting at are their GPUs, right? Graphics processing units.
Yeah, GPUs. Most people know them from, like, gaming.
Right, for making video games look amazing, rendering all those realistic graphics.
But here's the twist.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. See, unlike a normal computer chip, a CPU, think of that like a really smart project manager. It handles one big complex task really well.
Or maybe a few complex tasks sequentially.
Right, but a GPU. It's built differently. It's designed to do thousands, maybe millions, of simpler calculations all at the same time.
Like a massive factory floor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A factory floor with thousands of workers, all doing their own small, specific, repetitive task simultaneously.
And that architecture, that parallel processing, it turned out to be absolutely perfect for AI.
Perfect. For training these huge, complex AI models and then running them, it needs exactly that kind of massive, repetitive number-crunching power.
And crucially, it's not just about the hardware being fast. That's important, obviously.
Sure.
But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it really highlights the enormous value of the infrastructure for AI. Nvidia didn't just build powerful chips.
No, they built an entire world around them.
Exactly, an ecosystem.
Which brings us to the real secret sauce, doesn't it? CUDA.
CUDA.
This isn't just hardware. It's this layer of software that lets developers actually use the GPUs easily for all sorts of complex computing tasks, especially AI.
And they made this bet years ago. It was incredibly strategic.
Totally. Pouring resources into developing CUDA, building out libraries, tools, making it, frankly, much easier for researchers and engineers to build AI stuff on their chips compared to anything else.
Which effectively locked developers in.
It created this moat, this ecosystem that competitors are, well, still really struggling to replicate even now.
Right. So every time you use AI, maybe it's ChatGPT, maybe it's something behind the scenes like in self-driving car tech or medical imaging.
Or even just, smart photo tagging on your phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
There's a very, very good chance there's an Nvidia chip running CUDA doing the really heavy lifting somewhere in that process.
That's why it's so sticky, like you said. Developers have built entire careers, huge research projects around the Nvidia stack, switching to something else, even if a competitor could make a chip that's technically just as fast.
The switching cost is enormous. Retraining, rewriting code. It's incredibly difficult and time-consuming.
A massive barrier.
Yes.
It really shows their foresight, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It was a masterstroke looking back.
And they're not just big, they are dominant. I mean, let's look at the other giants. Microsoft, they're trailing Nvidia at around, what, $3.9 trillion?
Roughly, yeah. Still huge, obviously, but behind.
And Apple's back at about $3 trillion. They're all kind of eating Nvidia's dust right now in terms of market cap.
Which is remarkable. Think about it. This is the first time in history that a chip company is wearing the crown.
Right. Not a software company like Microsoft used to be. Not a consumer device giant like Apple. Not even, an oil company from decades past. A chip company.
It really makes you question where the true power lies now in the tech world. It really does. This shift, having a hardware component maker as the most valuable company, It tells us so much about what the market prioritizes right now. It's all about that foundational layer that everything else, especially AI, is being built on top of.
It's almost funny, isn't it? A company that got its start making graphics cards so you could render like really realistic hair in video games
Ah, right.
is now the bedrock for artificial intelligence that might, you know, generate entire virtual worlds or discover new drugs.
It shows how fundamental tech breakthroughs can find these completely unexpected, world-altering applications down the line. You just never know.
So looking ahead, this is the big question, isn't it? Can Nvidia sustain this incredible rise? The AI hype is, well, it's incredibly intense right now. The market's white
Red
hot.
hot, yeah.
But we've seen tech bubbles before. History is littered with them. So what are the risks? What could actually challenge Nvidia's reign here?
Yeah, that's the multi-trillion-dollar question, isn't it? And look, they seem invincible right now, but no company is completely immune. There are definitely challenges on the horizon. For one, you've got the other tech giants. They're not standing still.
Like who?
Well, Google's been working on their own AI chips, their TPUs, for years. Amazon has Trainium and Inferentia for their cloud customers. Apple's got the neural engine in all their devices.
Right, they're all building custom silicon.
Exactly. They're all investing billions in developing their own specialized AI hardware. Now, replicating NVIDIA's software ecosystem, CUDA, that's the really hard part, as we said,
Moat.
the moat. But could these custom chips start to chip away at NVIDIA's market share, especially for specific tasks within their own ecosystems? Possibly.
Okay, so internal competition from the big buyers. What else?
Well, there are always geopolitical risks, right? Chip manufacturing is incredibly complex and concentrated in just a few places globally. Any disruption there could have massive ripple effects.
Good point.
Yeah.
Supply chains are fragile.
Very. So those are real sort of longer-term question marks that go beyond just the current AI boom cycle.
Okay, so putting all that together, the dominance, the ecosystem, but also the competition and the risks. What do you think? Are we seeing the start of a totally new kind of tech empire here built on silicon? Or is maybe the peak, a cautionary tale in the making, like we saw with, say, Cisco back in the dot-com era?
It's fascinating to ponder, and maybe a final thought for you to consider is this. Just reflect on how a company that essentially makes one core type of hardware component, these chips, how did that become the most valuable enterprise on the entire planet? What does that specific shift away from software or consumer devices dominating really tell us about where the true centers of power and value are heading in our tech landscape as it keeps evolving so rapidly? It's definitely something worth thinking about long after this deep dive is over.